Well, I had to reset our testing up for. I got the mobile in right now, and then I'm gonna do Schaefer's next and Pennzoil Ultra next. I cut the time down to 30 minutes, and I cut the degrees down because I know the Noack volatility tests it at 250 degrees Celsius, but you have to have testing, special testing equipment for that, because this at 250 degrees Celsius smokes so bad inside this garage. You can barely even breathe in here. You can't even sit here and watch over the equipment. It smells so bad, and it has stunk in here since yesterday, since I actually got to the 250 degrees. I came out here, I went inside, came back out, and smoke was just starting to pour underneath the cracks of the door and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that fell down when I was finishing up some of this ceiling work here on this side. I got halfway done with the ceiling, and that's going to be my access for it. You can kind of see some of my reinforcement stuff up there. I got to get in there and do some more work up there. But anyway, this right here, this rigid kit, I ended up getting a rigid kit with a crown stapler, a brad nailer, and I think it was like a finishing trim gun. What is this one? This one is a 16 gauge straight nail. Anyway, you get that. This here is an 18 gauge narrow cross crown staple. And then this here is an 18 gauge brad nailer. And what I did was I got up and I got everything set, and I used the brad nailer to set it, and then I could get down because I was working by myself, and I could go ahead and put my screws in after that. So I started that, and then I kind of got some things roughed in, and just the way all this is laid out, like this board comes on an angle and then it tapers over to this board, it comes in on an angle. It's like you're having to chop and put things together just to make it work with what they already had here. It's just, it's rough, but it's coming together slowly. So that rigid 6-gallon tank with the line, the 3 guns, came out to, it was like $199 on sale, and it works absolutely phenomenal. I ended up picking up a Mr. Heater 30,000 to 60,000 BTU propane setup. There were a lot of people in the comment section that were saying a lot of stuff like, man, I wouldn't run one of those heaters in there. You're going to smell all this fuel and stuff. This is a clean burn. You don't smell nothing from this thing. Very, 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 very clean. And it gets warm very quick with this, so I was very pleased with that. Yeah, so the mobile's up now. I backed it down to 150 degrees Celsius, which is just over operating temperature. I may have to increase it just a little bit more just to get that volatility aspect of, it needs to, oh, there it is. I start to see some of the smoke coming off the top of it right there. I could just barely catch it. It's at 143 degrees Celsius. You can see just a little haze starting to come off. So I said, you know what, let's do that. 200 grams, set the RPM at about 600 RPM. Let's get it up to 150 degrees Celsius, and we'll run it for 30 minutes instead of an hour. We'll see how bad it smokes. And then we'll start with a test like that and see if there's any difference at that level. Oh yeah, it's got a nice little smoke to it coming right off the top of it. Let me see if I clean this lens and pick it up. There it is, you can just barely see it right there. And it's gonna stink. You know, burning oil has a real bad smell to it. So that timer will start once it reaches 150 degrees Celsius. Anyway, I wanted to reach out to you guys in the meantime just to kind of give you something, you know, and not leave you with no video today. Just to kind of show you some of the, you see how some of these don't quite line up. Like right there, you can see that there's a little bow that I have to climb up in there, and in between these two joists right here, they didn't tie off into the gable properly. So I put some temporary ones in there So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go up in there and I'm gonna tie the centerpiece in, and then I'm gonna tie it across, and then I'm gonna bring it straight up into that portion of the gable. And then I'll have to come in and put some screws down the center of that. They just chopped this up so bad. You can just see random how this board comes on an angle, and then this one's kind of off, tied into the center of it, which throws all your boards off, how you're nailing stuff down and how you're setting everything up. The whole entire situation's like that. So I had to go in and just kind of put wood in and get it reinforced in areas where I felt it was weak. Added some supports along the beam that comes across here. And I said, you know what, it ain't gonna be perfect, but I'm gonna make it better than what it was. I'm gonna try to do the best. I even climbed up in there and moved around. And the supports that I put in on that side made it much better, much sturdier. So I'm going to continue with my oil testing today. I just wanted to update you guys that I haven't forgot about doing it. I am going to do it. It's just I have to readjust a little bit because it makes this garage unbearable to even be in. I had to leave the door open overnight and let it all smoke out. Let the smell and everything get out of it. And still got up this morning. That residual smell was still lingering, and it was for about the first 30 minutes of working in here, getting this side of the ceiling done. It was hard to breathe, so I put the torpedo heater on and let it blow some air through here and circulate for a little bit. And about 30 minutes into it, it was started to blow as much of the smell out as it possibly could, and then it was more bearable to work in here. So that's what we're dealing with. That's the update for right now. I appreciate you guys being patient, and just I'm going to continue messing around with this volatility test and try to zero it in and figure out what we need. Thanks, guys. Be blessed. Have a great day. It seems that Celsius might be our mark. That's where it's getting a nice consistent film of smoky, and that's about 20 degrees Celsius, 20 to 24 degrees Celsius over what normal operating temperature would be in the vehicle. So I think that would be a good number to test it at. Just wanted to add that in there real quick. Thanks, guys. Catch you later.